Hello everyone, my name is Rodolfo Marrero. This video is for the senior project at FIU undergrad class. Today we're going to be talking about the story EFRT 445. The story title is Migrating to Web API. Here's my contact information. The product owner is Masoud Sayadi, same as the product mentor, and the project that we're talking about today is EFERT or EFRT Empowered Forex Trader. So the story is about migrating to Web API. The reason for that is before the EFERT project was using the business objects to talk to the data access directly, and right now we're moving all of the data access to, instead of using the local database for development, we're actually going to be using the Web API. So the MVC on the front end is going to be talking directly with the Web API, which is then going to be talking to the data access itself and then providing the data to the EFERT project to provide sort of a centralized location with simplified management on the security side. So what we're going to be discussing today is about mostly two things: account management and transactions. So the transactions we're going to be talking about is transactions using Stripe, which is what I implemented. And the account management is going to be the bank account. So front-end bank accounts and primary accounts and external bank accounts for the user. So let's take a look at what that looks like, just so that we make sure that this is working. So this is the front end. Here you can see that you're accessing your account information and you can add balances and delete. Everything is running on the back end. We have ngrok running to provide a tunnel for the Stripe webhooks to be accepted on the front end. There is going to be another video on that for you to set it up if you want to. Although probably, I'm not sure if you're going to need it or not. I also have a Node.js application running that is providing another tunnel in conjunction with ngrok to make things work. I'll explain how that works on a separate video, as I mentioned. So what I want to show you is that, first of all, this thing works. So I'm going to be putting $10 here on my account. I'm going to add the balance. All of this is being done via the Web API. So here you go, $10 added. So let's delete an account. Why not? Account was deleted. Let's add an account. Actually, I think I can add. Let me show you. I can show the network here, just to make sure that we're actually accessing the data via Web APIs. Although I'm not sure if on the front end. I mean, I know I'm using Ajax, but that's not too great, is it? Because you don't see from the Ajax I could be doing anything on the Ajax, I guess. So I guess this is mostly useless, but yeah, well, I guess you can see that, I was able to add a secondary bank account, although it wasn't too great. Okay, well, let's take a look at what's happening on the back end, and you will be able to tell whether, this is working or not, I guess. So in here, we're on the EFERT project. Everything on the front end is powered by the EFERT project. So we're talking with the Stripe controller, which is the one that is showing the views and whatnot. And then from the Stripe controller, we're using, I guess, a Stripe account manager and transaction manager, although I'm not sure if transaction manager is still being used from this controller. Apparently it is. Okay, great. So let me show you on this view, right? We're getting the list of accounts, and the list of accounts is being done with the account manager. Account manager is a service, so that service lies on the business object. So here's account manager, and account manager is actually making a REST API. So it's calling account, get list of accounts, and passing the user ID, right? So we pass the user ID, we get the data, we cast it to an account, and we return it back to the controller. We do the same thing when saving tokens. We do the same thing everywhere on the account controller. I guess I could show you here. Everywhere in here, we're using the data access layer before, but now we're using the Web API. So every single object in there, this one is just making reference to this one over here. So everything in here, as you can see, is using the Web API. Now let's take a look at the Web API, just to make sure it's legit. So in here we have an account controller and we have a transaction controller. So the account controller, as you can see, has a couple debug lines that probably gonna be removed by then, and probably gonna get a couple comments in here just to make things easy for you. It's using data access layer. It's getting the data from the view, right here. It's getting the data from, not the view, the request, and then passing it to the data access layer, and then getting the information. In here, it's getting some data from the body as a JSON, I guess, and then turning it, casting it to the proper values and getting the data again from the data access layer. So as you can see, this is properly implemented, or as proper as it can get for now. And we have the same thing on the transaction controller as well, which I guess the transaction controller is being used from this service right here, the Stripe service, which is another business object, I guess you could call it. But at this point it's on the services layer. Maybe we'll move it to the business object layer just to keep everything organized over there. So that's what this video is about. Basically, it's just showing you that this, we're no longer trying to access data access from the business objects anymore. And that's all there is to it. There is the transaction manager here, which is also making the API calls. So everything is properly implemented, I guess. So my information again, if you need to contact me, in case you have any questions about the code on these sections that I implemented, is right here. The product owner, Masood Sajadi, information is right here if you have any questions about the project. Thank you for watching.